Okay, looks like we are live. Now, see if people have been thrown off because I usually start the live streams half an hour earlier. And so is my tardiness going to throw people off? Will people think I'm not going live at all? Who knows? Time will tell. See, if you're watching this back later, yeah, it's just you and me at the moment. So I've got to wait to see if anyone actually joins the live stream. That would be a hoot, wouldn't it, if no one joined? Not really hoot. Hello, Smiley Nerd. Thank you for dropping by. Just ruminating on how many people are going to be on the live stream and if I've confused people by coming on half an hour later than I normally do. Couldn't be helped. Life happens. Life. And hello, Matthias and Charlie. Yeah, just had a few things to do, and so I was away from the computer until just recently, and just time to up. And look, as promised, my little message. See, look, Mimsy is with us again tonight. Hello. Hello. Oh, be nice. I'm being nice. Just trying to find the right bit of you. No, I've annoyed her. Sorry. We'll leave her over there for now. That's a new thing. She doesn't normally hang out there while I'm here, but second time this week she has. So who knows? Maybe it's a new tradition. Musical Aviator, well put. It is, in fact, International Misogynists Turn into Whining Little Snowflakes Day. She's a cute cat. She's an old cat. I think she's half deaf. She's about 14 years old. I don't know, because she wasn't born into our house. She's a rescue cat. We got her from the Lord Smith Animal Hospital. And I think she was already a year old by the time we got her. She'd had a litter of kittens. I know that much about her. Hey, Max, how are you? They tell you a little story about the cat when you hire it. Oh, hey, Toby, you got the package. Excellent. Nice. Good. I'm glad. I always get a little bit worried. Natasha, say hi, Maria. Okay. Natasha wants me to say hi, Maria, so I'm saying hi, Maria. I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced, Maria. You can write it phonetically if I'm getting it wrong. Text can be so difficult. But work on it. I can still see text. Oh, 24, having a bad day. That's no good. What's been giving you grief today? And hello, philosopher. Look, I've got a very green drink today. I swear the webcam does such inaccurate colors. It's actually quite an appealing green. It looks less appealing on the screen. I see. Okay. I see. Screen name Natasha, your real name's Maria. Fair enough. You may be surprised to learn my real name is not, in fact, AngryAussie. So, you know, I feel you. I get what you're saying. This I think I whined about this in the last live stream. I buggered up the shoulder. It's not that bad. I'm going to do a physio today again, but certain movements I really feel like, ow, ugh. You're right, he is going a bit deaf. I'm at least half deaf in my right ear and slightly deaf in my left ear. The right ear is because I've had all these chronic infections since I was a kid in this ear, culminating in major surgery when I was a teenager. Major surgery that should have happened when I was a kid, but I was in a small country town and there were no specialist doctors in that town. There wasn't a specialist until my mid-teens, which is when I saw the specialist, and he went, "Oh my God, these people are bushes. They should have fixed it." And I actually had major surgery twice on this ear, But the other deafness is from standing too close to the speakers at rock concerts. Don't do that, kids. It will make you deaf and you'll get really bad tinnitus. And if you've ever, people say, tinnitus, how bad is it? Well, how long is a piece of string? Because different people have, are you after? Nothing. You know? Okay. Just make sure, because I'm in the kitchen. I don't want to, deprive anyone. A thing out of the fridge. Oh, you got, okay. Young Mr. Angry is icing a cake. There you go. Thanks. He's a bit of a master baker. And I don't know, one of his friends at school is lucky enough for their birthday tomorrow, and he's making a cake, taking in a chocolate cake that he's made tonight. Toby, where did I get the fridge magnets made? A site called Vistaprint that does all sorts of neat merch. They did the postcards as well. There was a period, it was a couple of years ago, where I got a bit obsessive about getting stuff made on Vistaprint. So I have heaps and heaps of postcards and fridge magnets that I had made there. So yeah, I think I got 3 or 4 different postcards and a couple of different fridge magnets. So there's a little bit, because the thing is, Vistaprint is pretty cheap. So it's got that going for it. But once you buy something once, then they start sending you all these discounts. And I was like, oh, discounts, look, that's so cheap. I can get that, that, and that. And so I ended up getting an absurd amount of stuff, basically. 24, defecating. Well, like I said, I had hearing problems my whole life, and at this major surgery when I was about 15 or 16. But yeah, that and the rock concerts, which my late teens, early 20s, I've got really bad tinnitus. And how that is, well, normally it's just always in the background. I can ignore it and tune it out. It's like a high-pitched whistling sort of microphone feedback noise that's always with me. But sometimes, and I don't know what makes it worse than other times, but sometimes, particularly when I'm trying to go to sleep at night and it's quiet, the tinnitus can be very bad, to the point there's like sometimes it feels like someone is screaming in my head. It's just this howling, screaming noise, and it gives a very, you know how sometimes if a sound's too loud, it causes physical pain? Sometimes my tinnitus does a very good approximation of physical pain. So yes. Natasha Maria, going to school. Thank you for dropping by, and I hope you enjoy school. So yes, kids, don't stand too close to speakers at concerts or discos, nightclubs. Don't turn up your headphones too loud, okay? You will do permanent damage. It's not repairable. It basically, hearing damage is not repairable. If you have to get a hearing aid, which honestly I probably should have one for this year, yes, it makes things louder, but it tends to sound like an AM radio, a badly tuned AM radio signal, and it's prone to feedback and distortion. It's not good. So you're far better off never doing the damage. So that's what you should work on. Don't do the damage in the first place. David, you're right. A fan, white noise can help. I mean, when I'm at work, I have, like, you know, my earbuds in and music playing at low levels, so I can still hear if someone calls my name, if someone talks to me. There's enough of a background noise that I've got a constant sort of noise level so the tinnitus doesn't win. 24, if you're having trouble with hearing, it's worth going to. It might be simple. You might have like a glob of wax blocking your ear, and that can be gotten rid of, but that will affect your hearing. It is definitely worth going to see a doctor if you're having trouble with hearing, because it could be a whole bunch of different things. Some are very simple to fix, and some are serious. And whichever way it is, should go to a doctor, because if it's simple to fix, they'll fix it. And if it's serious, it can help you with it being serious. But definitely go to a doctor about it. Charlie, your tinnitus is worse when you're drunk. I'm not really sure if there's any difference for me. Yeah, 24, if your ears feel blocked, it might be as simple as like a glob of hard wax is blocking the ear. And that can be fairly easily fixed. But definitely go and see a doctor, because you don't want to let stuff like that just slide by. You want to do something about it, basically. Speaking from experience, having to tell people occasionally, or more than occasionally, when they're saying something to me, like, no, you're not facing me and you're not speaking loudly. You need to fix that. You need to face me and speak more clearly. If you're not facing me and you're not speaking that loudly, I'm going to miss half of what you say. So if you face me and speak clearly, that will be much better. So, yes. Oh my God. I don't know. That just seems like a really boring topic of conversation. My hearing problems. My shoulder. Let's complain. What other parts of my body can I complain about? What do you want to do now? I'm just a kitchen slave. What else do I get out of the fridge? There's a chocolate bar in the fridge. Okay. Oh my God, this person's getting super good decorations on the cake. There is a chocolate bar in there. All right. Got chopped up white chocolate on the cake. Now they're getting chopped up milk chocolate on the cake. Oh, that's all right. Celtic King, how's AngryAussie? He is actually going into hospital tomorrow for some surgery, which he hopes is minor, because he's got, some intestinal problems, blockages, things not quite working. So because they're doing the spit roast thing to him, one scope here and one scope up the other end, and they're going to meet in the middle, and apparently that's really full on and you don't want to be awake for it. So he's going to be under general, as they're going to probe him from each end like he's been abducted by aliens. And they think there's probably a section of his intestine that might need to be cut out, that's maybe not working. But he hopes it's relatively straightforward and he won't be in long. But he won't really know until he wakes up how full on the operation was and how long they're going to keep him there. Hi, Tara. How's it going? David Hilton, you're a little bit deaf as well. Yeah, from too much noise. Yeah. I mean, the ear specialist who told me, and I was only in my early 20s when I got diagnosed with this hearing loss, because I had to have surgery on my ear again, and he did test, you need a hearing test. And he said, do you go to a lot of loud concerts? And I said, yes. And he said, yeah, I thought so. That sort of hearing loss is either from like working on a pneumatic drill day in, day out, or going to too many loud concerts. And you don't look like the type who's working on a pneumatic drill day in, day out. So, well, you got me there. You got me there. It's loud music. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Celtic King, we all love AngryAussie. All good people love AngryAussie, and we hope he gets better soon. Yeah, 24, it's probably a wax buildup. So the good news is that's pretty straightforward to fix, so definitely go see a doctor. Philosopher, apparently on Sunday, a bunch of Americans are changing time for daylight saving. There you go. I don't really keep track of where daylight saving happens around the world. But of course, some people have. This is from the feedback. Oh, Hello, that's my other cat who you can probably hear. Yes, hey, Shadow, come here. What do you want? No, she just wants to come in, make some noise, and then walk out. Fair enough, I suppose. So I don't know. Shadow is a lot more neurotic than Mimsy. Mimsy is very settled. Mimsy is just soundly asleep over here. See, oh no, she's having a little bit of a lick of a paw now. She's very settled. She's old and settled, and she's just fine. Shadow is a bit younger. She's about 7 years old, I think, but she's been neurotic since she was a kitten. She's a bit of a runt, and she's just weird. She won't settle. She never settles. John, sorry, Christian, have I heard of a man called G-Man? That's an oblique question. G-man's the thing for government man, like FBI agent. In what context is there a person called G-man? Because that's not a very original thing to call yourself. So it could be thinking, you look like you want something else to happen.
I'll come back from you.
If I can help, what else do you want?
I was going to ask you to make space in the fridge for this, but like, this seems more like something to do with.
Okay, yeah, all right. I've got to put the cake back in the fridge. Okay, will do. Drink while you're here. Right, yes. So I'm multitasking. I'm talking to all you fine folk and trying to help out young Master Angry. He's just drank too much water in one go, but that's okay. Busy. 24. Have I seen the Alexa laughing thing? No, I don't know what that is. Is that like Alexa, that digital assistant thing? Alexa laughing is scary as fuck. No, I haven't even heard of that. So yes. Yeah, David, I saw that. Labor has been floating the idea of removing the luxury tax from tampons, and Tony Abbott, the sad, desperate, pay attention to me loser, has gone, well, that's just being politically correct. Like, he is so desperate for attention, and he's so desperate to say to the ultra-right, obnoxious pricks, I'm your guy, love me. He's pathetic. Like, he's a bad joke, basically. Hi, Empress. Happy International Women's Day to you too. Yes, it's a coincidence that I'm broadcasting on International Women's Day, because I probably would have done a live stream tonight anyway. But, you know, I'm always wondering, what the hell do I call? You know, just call it live again. Try to come up with some sort of name for the live stream. So it sort of worked that, you know, today is International Women's Day. Tara, it's not so much that Abbott wants to start a civil war with the LGBT community as much as he's so desperate for attention and desperate for adulation. He thinks if he woos the extreme right-wing hate mob, someone will finally love him. Hi, Miss Foxification. How you doing? So, I mean, Abbott doesn't even mean half the shit he says. He's just so desperate for attention. He's just pathetic. It's really sad seeing someone flailing about that much, to the point where he's so bad at reading a room. It's gotten to the stage that basically all of his own party fucking hates him because he's so obnoxious. Bury, well, you're late to the game. Mimsy's already made a couple of appearances, but she's still here. She's asleep. She does not care that I'm here making noise. I think she's going to... We're talking about me being deaf. I think Mimsy's going deaf. So she's just having a nice snooze at the moment. Maybe I should... I'll angle it a bit so she can be in it all the time. There you go. I'll change the angle of my laptop, and we can have Mimsy watch going on the thing. 24. Don't jinx us, buddy. With the trolls. That's all right. I mean, it's just got the stage where trolls fascinate me. Like the complete lack of a life they must have. Yes, we're all cat people now. Everyone's happy because there's a cat in the video. And why wouldn't that make you happy? Yeah, Empress, it would be nice if everyone was just everyone. As like you get these horrible reactionary uber conservative people who say, oh no, you just want special treatment, you're a snowflake, you just want to have everything your way. It's like, no, what people from marginalized groups literally want is the same opportunity, and that requires people who have always had everything their own way to have the guts to admit they've had an unfair advantage all these years. And if things level out a bit, they won't always get everything by default like they have up till now. Terry got 3 cats and 2 dogs. Oh my God. Yeah. I know, David, hard life. She's just waiting for me to go to bed, and then she's going to climb up next to me in the bed and demand bed space. I had a super weird dream the other night. I was in a lot. My shoulder acts up like during the. Like, I'm fine now. You're like, I'm not grimacing pain. Like if I reach, even that doesn't hurt. Because I went to the physio. See, that doesn't hurt. I can feel it if I do that right here. There's a little twinge of pain. But for some reason, going to bed, like lying down, it's distributing weight differently, and it starts to hurt. So I'm always trying to find the right way to lie to stop pain. And this is like the middle of the night. I was sleeping, I was in pain, but it affected my dream. And I was having this weird dream that I was in bed and there was some sort of frame in the bed that was meant to support me and stop the pain, but there were 2 different ones, and I had to test them both and find out which was the thing. And it was keeping me awake, and I was actually really conscious, even within the dream, that Mimsy was sitting next to me, and I had to make room for her as well. And I woke up and just came, man, that was a stupid fucking dream. I really thought that was real. And I don't know if it made me sleep funny. I don't know. David, maybe Voltaren, you mean like the Voltaren gel? Maybe it would. I've been taking the tablets because the physio said, yeah, I should take anti-inflammatories because it's like a muscle thing in here. So I haven't been like putting like Voltaren gel or any sort of rub on it. And the physio hasn't recommended that, but it did recommend taking anti-inflammatories. So I take anti-inflammatory before. Oh, the pills. Okay. Yeah. No, I have. I've been taking pills. Sometimes Voltaren and sometimes like ibuprofen because that's an anti-inflammatory as well. Declan, I'm glad you appreciate the cat. Mimsy. Everyone kept asking, so I thought I would just change the angle so Mimsy would be in shot all the time. Yeah, David, I think it helps me get to sleep that I take an anti-inflammatory before going to bed. Oh, thanks, John. I hope I feel better soon too. But it's funny, like we're having a pain, and it's not a chronic thing. Like I've done some sort of injury which can be fixed, and but when like your best mate's AIDSy, who's had severe chronic pain for 2 decades, like he got rheumatoid arthritis when he was about 30, and and because of the chemotherapy he had for rheumatoid arthritis, which fucked up his immune system, he has had all these infections that have done other damage. And then because he was in chronic pain and wasn't getting any medicated or not much medicated treatment for it, he was self-medicating and taking way too much over-the-counter codeine drugs. It's funny because they've just been made prescription only in Australia, which a lot of people are upset about. And I said, I don't believe anyone's really abusing them anyway. Well, there's a story in the media that's saying some people were taking 50 or 60 a day. That's not possible. You just can't do that. Yeah, well, at his worst, I've said this before, and Azy said it before, he did one. At his worst, they used to sell packets of Nurofen Plus. It's 72 in a packet, and he would buy 2 of those packets and down them all in one sitting. Like he had to set aside half an hour just to take all the pills he was taking. And yeah, that is a problem because that has a whole bunch of knock-on health effects, has damaged his various organs and his blood's all fucked up. Seems like he can't retain iron in his blood, and they've had to do a whole bunch of things, give him a whole bunch of iron infusions. Well, he tells a story that says when he wasn't well, like his doctor did a blood test and said, we'll get back to you in 3 days. And his doctor actually got back to him the next morning and said, oh, you need to front up to the hospital now. And he's going, what? You said 3 days? No. What happened was the people from the test lab got upset that someone was playing a prank on them because someone had sent them blood from a dead person to be tested. His iron levels were so low, they didn't see how he could be alive. And they said, when they were assured, no, that came from a live person, they were like, he won't be alive for long, get him in here. And so yes, Charlie's saying too much codeine gives you heartburn. Hey, too much codeine will eat away the lining of your stomach. That's one of the problems Aidsy had. Empress, you dream about nuclear war or climate change reaching its zenith. Yes, I mean, there are a bunch of things that could wipe us out. There is no doubt about it. This Foxification is saying nuclear wars less likely. Oh, we're back to the Cold War, though. That's the mutually assured destruction thing. Being an 80s child, we're used to like Russia and America were so many nuclear weapons. Because well, you can't possibly launch a nuke now, because if anyone launches one, the other side will launch 100, and then first side will launch it, and we'll all be dead. So you can't have a nuclear war because it can't be contained, which is a fucking dodgy line of logic, but it's worked so far. Empress, ask friends who've died from heroin overdoses. Yeah, it's mildly surprising that Aidsy never got into the gear, quite honestly. Oh, Empress, I do not blame you for being worried. Like, again, the argument is that we can't have a nuclear war because you can't contain it, so no one can start it. That relies on there being no accidents and no lunatics. And the trouble is, accidents happen all the time, and the world's full of lunatics. So, yeah. Yeah, philosopher, it really is good that Donald Trump's at the helm in these tense times, and he's making them tenser. In all seriousness, when he got elected, I had trouble sleeping for a couple of days. I was so worried about what would happen, and that's never happened to me before. Like, I may have been opposed to the policies of George Bush, but he never kept me awake at night. and Trump getting elected, I couldn't sleep properly for a couple of nights because I was so worried about what shit he was going to do. And basically, he's done everything I thought he would and more and worse. Yes. Empress, like Kim Jong-un's successor, could be far more radical than him. True, but we don't know what's going to happen with Kim Jong-un or I think 24. I think we had this discussion last time. Look, and that's cool. If you think Trump would be better than Clinton, I don't think evidence supports that. But it's an abstract question because you can't know for sure because Clinton's not in. I don't think the evidence supports that things would be worse under Clinton. In fact, I don't think it's even close. But that's just opinion. Charlie, you are right. Trump in meetings has said, well, why can't we use nukes? Why don't we just nuke North Korea? That'll quieten them down. And everyone's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Ms. Foxification, you may be right. There may not be another glorious leader after Kim Jong-un. There may be a reunification with the South. Who knows? Who knows? Philosopher, you are right. A lot of people have gotten more active in their activism as a result of Trump getting elected. Oh, John, you're not going to be happy until you cause trouble, are you? Yeah, you're amazing how easy weak-minded people can be manipulated by BuzzFeed. Are you telling me I'm not a Samantha? Because I did the Sex and the City quiz on BuzzFeed that said I was a Samantha, and I've been living by that ever since. If you're going to say I've been manipulated into thinking that, I'll be very upset. My first one, did BuzzFeed increase activism? No, BuzzFeed does not do activism. BuzzFeed is a pile of shit. BuzzFeed is listicles and stealing other people's material. Yeah, no, BuzzFeed's just shit, basically. I'm not a fan of BuzzFeed. Mofo, you think they're trying to be more legit? They might be trying, but they're fucking failing. They're part of the problem, in my opinion. I mean, good on them if they want to try. Tara, you're not wrong, but the Murdoch Empire is clickbait. They just shamelessly go for lies and sensationalism. Yeah. Oh, Empress, you're definitely right that BuzzFeed's more accurate and trustworthy than Fox News or InfoWars, but that's a pretty goddamn low bar to set. It's like, sure, I crashed my car into a kindergarten, but I still haven't killed as many people as Hitler, okay? So I don't know why you're getting so worked up. I mean, worse things have happened, okay? It's just like when you set the bar really low, I'm not sure you're achieving anything. 24, who thinks GTA 5 is sexist? Probably got sexist stuff in it. That'd make me a bad feminist because I like GTA 5. Philosopher, they may well make some funny videos. That does not make them a credible source, and it certainly doesn't mean they're not part of the problem. Misfoxification, that's a good plan. Have a web browser add-on, blocks web bugs, use DuckDuckGo as a search engine, and then the internet looks different because Google's not manipulating your results. Celtic King, can I brush my hair? What do you mean? Just do that? Is that going to turn you on, buddy? I can do that. Tendai, yes, International Men's Day. And for the snowflakes, there is actually an International Men's Day. It's in November, I think. But yes. Yeah, Empress, you're right that a lot of the internet trolls will assert that stuff is on Fox. It's kind of like whenever one of these, particularly a racist or misogynist troll, will say like, no, you're wrong, and here's the proof. And they will literally link to an Andrew Bolt opinion column. And they go, there you go, you're wrong, because Andrew Bolt printed an opinion column that said something different. Therefore, you're definitely wrong. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, how boxed in does someone's brain have to be to say something that stupid? And I mean, I can almost forgive someone for quoting Fox News. It's still a completely unreliable and hideously biased source, but I can almost forgive someone for quoting Fox News. But when someone quotes InfoWars, it's like, for fuck's sake, Alex Jones has admitted that's all made up. It's just a scam to sell products to fucking morons. And he just says extreme stuff to whip people up and get this crazed sort of obsessive following. It's like, none of it's real. The people printing it don't even think it's real. But fucking idiots think it is. Hey, Shelformer, how's it going? Oh, that was nice, Charlie. Your school did a sausage sizzle for prostate cancer on Men's Day. Sausage sizzle for Men's Day, eh? I get it. This foxification could be worse. They could be quoting David Icke. Or what's his name? David Avocado Wolf. Oh my God. What is wrong with that guy? Empress, you raise a valid point of people who have never experienced any form of oppression, whether it be racism, sexism, religious bigotry, gender or sexuality bigotry, and saying there's no problem when they're not the person that it's ever directed at. It is very strange that they think they have the credibility to say that. People are fucked. Christian Smith, what do I think about net neutrality? I think we need it. And I think it's obviously in big trouble in the US, but it's been under threat for the last 10 years. Because basically, both traditional media companies and governments would like to have complete control over what you and I see. And they would like to have massive barriers to entry new players. See, it's not even so much the information. Like, people go, oh, I'm worried that they're going to censor information and they'll only let me see certain things and they'll charge me more for this. The main problem with dropping net neutrality is the goal for the people controlling the flow of information would be to put a massive roadblock for new players, basically raise the barrier to entry. At its best, the internet has reduced the barrier to entry to almost zero to promote. And, anyone can get their product out, can get their material out, can get their content out. The traditional media companies do not like that, and they would like to be able to cripple any new arrivals on the scene and make it so expensive to do business on the internet that no one new can get in. You're right, Tara, that abortion laws are stupid. The fact that I think there are still some areas of Australia where abortion's illegal, which is ridiculous. And this is the dark, dirty secret of the anti-abortion crowd. As people who are in favour of universal access to abortion on demand say you can't stop abortion, you can only stop safe abortion. The majority of anti-abortion activists are okay with that. Like people who want safe medical terminations to be freely available say the abortion rate doesn't go up when it's easily accessible. It's just that when you make it illegal, it's underground and it's dangerous and women die. The anti-abortion activists are okay with that. They actually think women who seek abortion deserve to die. These are the same people who opposed the HPV vaccine, a vaccine that would prevent sexually transmitted infection that causes cancer, because they said, oh, if those young women know that they're not going to get this infection, then they'll be really just after sex all the time. And they are literally saying, I would prefer young women die than have sex. So that's one of the main reasons I have no time for anti-abortion activists, because they rarely admit it, but they think women who seek abortion deserve to die. So fuck them. Christian, what's the selling points? Well, the selling point for getting rid of net neutrality is big companies control everything. Big companies paid politicians to get rid of net neutrality in the US because they would win. Politicians win because they got paid lots of money by these lobby groups. And the greater public loses, and a significant proportion of the business community loses, but neither the lobbyists nor the politicians care about that. So neither the lobbyists nor the politicians, well, the selling points to normal people are lies. It's as simple as that. The selling points to normal people are blatant lies. And they don't care if they get caught in a lie. They don't care if it becomes obvious to all normal people that they're being screwed over. They just don't care, because the lobbyists get their way and the politicians get their money from the lobbyists. And that's all they care about. It is as simple as that. Empress, it's not even, well, it's not just capitalism, because it's not free market. It's crony capitalism. It's the robber barons of the 19th century. It's that sort of capitalism. It's like, hey, I already have massive control. I want to now artificially block access to other people. Philosopher, you're right that there's no, I don't think there's any legal net neutrality in Australia. It's just there are general agreements about carriage that mean that it won't get as bad as the US might. But if they fuck it up in the US, that will fuck up the internet in the entire world. It's as simple as that. Yeah, shell former, Rockefeller Railroads. Christian, yeah, I like my shirt. I got it from I have a huge amount of t-shirts from a website called T Fury, and a lot of them are Doctor Who shirts. Yeah, this one's called Bad Landing because it's got a TARDIS, and then all the Doctor's enemies are waiting outside the TARDIS. It's a nice shirt. They have very good designs on T Fury. Yes, you're right. We don't have net neutrality, but we do have anti-abortion monopoly laws. Yes. Yeah, it's all complicated. Oh, still got there. Have a little drink. Oh, I was looking around. Look at this mysterious envelope here. This is a big project AIDSy and I work for. These are AIDSy's initial notes on what he's calling the algorithm, the method, or whatnot. It's a thing we're going to do because AIDSy and I have worked in areas of the arts, performance and creation for a few decades, and AIDSy particularly hates the arts establishment and the people who are getting all the government funding to do their very highbrow stuff that no one actually likes. And it's one of the reasons he likes YouTube, because anyone can do anything. But we often get, and because I also I'm admin on some Facebook groups for like the YouTube community, the creator community, and what often happens is that people say, I want to be on YouTube, but I don't know what to do. And that always makes me really angry. It's like, if, you know, because there's the whole thing, I want to be famous. You know, no. If you want to be on YouTube, you've got to have something to offer an audience, okay? So if you don't have it, you don't do it. So really often when someone has said, I want to be on YouTube, but I don't know what to do, what should I do? My initial result has been, you should fuck off. That's what you should do. You should fuck off, dig a big hole, drop yourself into it, and then pull all the dirt in on top, because I fucking hate you, okay? Don't say that you want to be on YouTube, but you don't want to. If you don't have something to offer to an audience, fuck off and find something. So, but I've been working on this thing, and it's basically a series of instructional videos in how to be a creator. So it's actually answering the question of how do I create, and we're focusing on the idea of creating on YouTube, but it's aimed at like broader arts and creation, but we're focusing on YouTube. And the key element of this teaching thing is talent is overrated. What gets you ahead is hard work and skill, because when you work at something, your skill levels increase. You know, talent's a finite thing and is a subjective thing, but skills can be objectively measured, and skills can be worked on and improved. So we're going to do a series of videos in how to develop those skills, like how to make things, how to be a creator. 24, just put Jake Paul in the title. Okay, I swear to God, just before everything sort of went fucking crazy with Jake Paul, like with that suicide video, and people who are regulars on the live streams might remember, I was jokingly going to make a video baiting all the Jake Paul fans, basically do a reaction to Jake Paul and say how much I hated him, just to, oh, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, that's right. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, there's two of them. It's Logan Paul's the one we're here. Yeah, it was Logan Paul I was talking about. See, I don't even watch them, so I don't even know them. It was Logan Paul. Yeah, so I was going to do a video saying why I hate him. But then, you know, it all went nuclear, and I thought, oh, now it just looks like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, and I don't want to do it. So I never did it. Maybe I should still do it anyway. Yes, Empress, I think based on available evidence, Logan Paul is pretty scummy. And misfoxification, you hit the nail on the head there. Appealing to bias sells, and there's no two ways about it. And this is the thing. I'll admit, I'm appealing to bias. I'm so open with my own biases. I am trying to give voice and give entertainment to like-minded people, because feedback I've gotten a lot, which I like, which I've gotten over the years, is, oh, you said what I was thinking and I didn't know how to put it into words. That's what I attempt to do. So yeah, I am definitely appealing to a particular sort of bias. Empress, hate pretentious rich kids like him who do shitty things for attention. Yes, yes, yes. People who think they can, buy it. Yeah, no. He is basically, he's poison. There's really no getting around. He's awful. He's just really bad. There's the, I was going to say something else, something slightly more subtle, but then I went, no, he's just awful. He's terrible. Rice gum. Yeah, see, I don't even get into this. I'm aware of the existence of rice gum, but I don't know who it is or what they do or what they like. So yeah, I do not get into that stuff. Oh god, because I think I'd just end up slashing my wrists if I did. It's just like, it can get very painful. And I know a lot of people who are artistic people, creative people, in various films. Some are musicians, some are actors, some are comedians, all this thing. And focusing on things that are being very successful that you feel are of lower quality than what you do, that will destroy you. Like, that will do your head in so badly. It is very hard to avoid doing that. I mean, because I could spend all my time being upset about absolute shit that's really popular on YouTube, but life's too short. And also, I try to encourage people to be philosophical. Like I've said before, my admin on some Facebook groups for YouTube creators, and people say, and when someone says something like, "I hate that Logan Paul's so successful with all this stuff," I say, okay, you got to try and be glass half full. The fact that Logan Paul reaches that huge audience proves that huge audience is out there. That big audience is waiting for you. You have an opportunity here. There is no barrier stopping you from getting out there. So, Logan Paul is reaching this big audience, and after they watch Logan Paul, they want to watch something else. That could be you. Take advantage of that and do your best without obsessing over someone who you think is no good. Just embrace the fact that they're proving there's an audience out there, and go for it. So, short form, you had to deal with some younger Bolton Milo followers at school. Oh, good. Okay, and I provided some balance. I'm glad, because oh my god, if someone is a Milo follower or a Bolt follower, it's fucking tragic. Absolutely fucking tragic. Mofo saying, how does Murdoch's business stay alive? Maybe it's like software as a service, but it's mass manipulation as a service. I like that, Joe Former. Milo Yiannopoulos. That's it. I don't know who Milo Stewart is, Empress. But yes, I got that you were talking about Milo Yiannopoulos. Shelf warmer is yeah, sad. I mean, he's the classic example. Someone, he doesn't even believe the things he says. He does just over the top shit for the sake of notoriety, because he just wants people to look at him. He doesn't even believe it. He's just saying it to get attention. And it's like, oh my God. It's just like, you know, dude, there's a difference between good attention, bad attention. And I don't understand why people don't get that. A philosopher calling him a provocateur is flattering him. He's a piece of shit. He's a shallow, narcissistic wanker. Empress, do I watch and support any trans YouTubers like ContraPoints or Cat Black? I hardly, this sounds awful, but I hardly watch any YouTube because everyone always talks about ContraPoints. Finally watched ContraPoints video, which I quite like. She puts a lot of work into those videos. But I've only watched the one. And I've heard of Cat Black, but I don't watch. Yeah, this is my guilty admission is I hardly watch any YouTube. Was that one, Mofo? A video about Logan Paul titled "The Existential Horror of Logan Paul" by Big Chol. Oh, Tara, Mark Latham has some very conflicting ideas in his head about Milo Yiannopoulos, I think. Was that misfoxification? David Packham. Maybe, yeah, like I said, it's very hard for me to get into new things. Because like I said, I used to, oh my God, back in the day, I used to watch a couple hours of YouTube every night. And I just don't do that anymore. Is that Dr. David Packham, nephrologist? Is that who we're talking about? I've never heard of him. So yes, I don't know. So yeah, but I mean, there's no getting around it. There's a lot of good stuff out there. It's David Pacman. David Pacman. Okay, yeah, that's someone else. He covers some things. Okay, I like to have a quick look up when you tell me these things. David Pacman. Wow, he's got some serious hair in some of these photos. Just saying. Argentinian American television and radio host. Okay. Okay, I will probably never check it out. I'm just being honest. I am not doubting your recommendation. I think your recommendation's probably solid. But yeah, I don't watch that much. I believe he's a professor. What did he's a political commentator, college instructor, and internet personality. So yeah, he does radio, but yeah, he apparently does do teaching as well. So he does a lot. He seems like a knowledgeable chap. Sure, the Majority Report with Sam Seder's okay. It's like the Young Turks, but with 80% less buffalo. That's the other thing. I've never watched the Young Turks. Well, never's an exaggeration, but basically I don't watch them. '24. What do I think about Donald Trump blaming video games on shooting? I've said that in previous things. I have a problem with the gun lobby generally because I think they're talking shit. But people who I really, really, really can't stand, the people who say after a shooting, no, we can't have any additional regulation of guns. What we need is regulation of the real problem, violent video games and movies. Like, no, fuck you. If you are unwilling to address the actual problem, that you don't get to have a scapegoat. That's just fucking offensive. RCE, too late for the MRA trolls. They haven't really been in evidence tonight. Gelta King, what do I watch? Okay, if I go and look at my subscriptions on YouTube, who out of my subscriptions have I watched recently? Let's have a look. My subscriptions, who's in there? Okay. There's a bunch of, yeah, yes, no, sorry, I haven't watched you. Okay, I still watch Vlog Brothers videos sometimes, and the affiliate ones, Crash Course and all those things. Dan Ball's rap videos, I probably watch about half of his rap videos. Yeah, I go for, these days I just go for entertainment on YouTube. Like, I don't watch political YouTubers. Watch the slow-mo guys. I like the slow-mo guys. I occasionally watch tipsy bartender videos. And sometimes I watch some old school YouTubers like, Grace Helbig or Hannah Hart, something like that. But yeah, I don't watch, and sometimes I watch some of the other sciencey things, like, I might watch Veritasium or Smarter every day. But in general terms, I watch entertainment videos on YouTube, not political ones. I tend, rather than watching other political videos, I tend to just do my own research. Yes, Diana. Oh, I was about to say, Neil said, please pet my cat, and Mimsy just happened to look up. People want me to pet you, Mimsy. Is it okay? Yes. She likes being scratched on the cheek and chopped her head. Lots of cats like being scratched under the chin, and she likes that. She'll have that. Yeah, no, that's good. She often doesn't go for that, but she's liking it at the moment. There you go. Happy cat. Oh, she loves attention. There. All right. Oh, Empress, that sounds interesting. History buffs. Did an episode on Dancing with Wolves. Dances with Wolves talks about Battle of Standing Rock and how Native Americans are still suffering. I was trying to think. She just made me think of Drunk History, which is not YouTube, of course. Has anyone ever seen Drunk History? It's a show hosted by a comedian. He gets his comedian friends. He basically says, I want you to tell me your favorite story from history, but in your own words. Oh, and I'm going to get you really, really drunk before we start. And then, so they have the person there being really drunk telling a story, and then just they get other comedians and actors to act out what the person's describing, and often they have the actors lip syncing what a drunk person's saying. So you've got some famous character from history just lip syncing to a drunk comedian, goes like, it's not like you even know the real stuff that I can do what I want, and you can't stop me. It can be very entertaining, but one of my favorite parts about it is it has a health warning about problem drinking. Credits. How many shows have had to have a health warning about problem drinking in the things. That's classic. Celtic King German Shepherds more like a cat than most cats. Oh my gosh, Tara, you grew up in the country. Dad did actually shoot rabbits. Yeah, we had 22s in my house when I grew up in the country. Empress, you think there should be 2 tiers there? I think there should possibly even be more than 2 tiers. But yes, you certainly. I personally, I don't think it's a big deal. I think that there are a dangerous class of weapons that are freely available in America that should be totally fucking illegal. It's as simple as that. What are you doing, Mimsy? Sorry, I just saw philosopher ratting out. Mimsy moved one of my bottles here. See her foot's on it. That's okay. Stovo Voice Australia. Simpsons moved to 7 Mate after 27 years on Channel 10. What do I think about that? I, like most people, stopped watching The Simpsons over 10 years ago, so I really don't care. I see some of the new episodes and some of them raise a bit of a smile, but I mean, The Simpsons hasn't had any cultural significance for well over 10 years. I don't give a shit whether it's on air or not, or on what channel. It just doesn't mean this foxification. You got to go. Is that what you're saying? Someone said that. Yes, going to the supermarket. Okay. Good night. Yes, as she says, give me a thumb up. Tara, we had classic 22s from the Lithgow Small Arms Factory. And we were just using, we didn't even use magazines, although I think that you could fit a magazine to them. Like we were single shot, like 20, bang, new shell, bang. One of my dad's friends did have, at one point, a semi-automatic 22, which was kind of fun to go targeting, shooting, and just go pop, 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 these little 22 rounds. But yes. 24. Fox is not wasting money. The reason The Simpsons is still on the air is because they still make a fortune from it, from the advertising and the merchandising. If The Simpsons wasn't making money, it wouldn't be on the air. But it is making money, and that's why it's on the air. Celtic Kings watch all the Simpsons. Well, they're repeated all the time. But the good ones I have seen so many times that, you know, I don't laugh at it. Oh, man, it's like, you're half awake, aren't you? Do you want to go back to sleep? Everyone loves you anyway. Pretty bad guy used to shoot an RPG on his dad's ranch. That's, I don't know American laws very well, but that sounds illegal even in America. I thought there were some restrictions on something. Oh God, Tara, you used to go spotlighting. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, where I grew up, spotlighting was usually shooting pigs, wild pigs on the properties. I said I had steamed hams. Okay, and that's the thing. I saw there was someone made a really oblique reference to that episode of The Simpsons on Twitter today. Trying to remember what they said, but it was that whole speech of Inspector Chalmers about manifestation of Aurora Borealis at this time of day, at this time of year, localized in your kitchen. Can I see it? And Skinner says no. And I forget exactly what it was, but it was an oblique reference to that. And you get it straight away. But that's how you know that Simpsons has been shit for over 10 years. Because if anyone references The Simpsons, it's never from an episode in the last 10 or even 15 years. That's how you know. All the references are from the first 10 to 15 years of The Simpsons. Since then, no one references The Simpsons. Oh my God, Empress Leisure, you're telling me RPGs are legal in a lot of states? Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay. That actually surprises me. You're doing Mimsy. Do you want more pat? You know, settle down. She's old and grumpy. She's been really quiet tonight in here. Sometimes she's very grumpy and demanding. She must just be tired. If she knew everyone on the internet was watching her, she'd be very happy. That would make her very happy. She likes people to pay attention to her. When people visit my house, she always comes up to a visitor like, will this person worship me? Will this person worship me? They should. Tendai, someone remixed Steam Ham Scene into a cover of Feel Good. I'm actually, okay, I'm going to have to find that. Okay, yeah, I found it. All right, I'm going to look at that after this live stream. It's a thing, and I found it. So I'll be looking at that after this live stream. That's the other thing I do on YouTube. Besides the people I'm subscribed to, I watch a lot of music videos. I watch a lot of film trailers. I sort of disappear down a rabbit hole of watching film trailers sometimes. And with music, I'm also a fan of remixes, mashups. And I'm particularly fond of these guys called DJs from Mars. I think they do really good mashups. Empress, the whole thing about teachers carrying guns, I'm just like, whatever, you know, there's just no one's taking it seriously. No one's taking the obvious steps you would take if you were serious. So I refuse to get worked up about it. Maybe that makes me cynical. Maybe that makes me an awful person. But I refuse to get worked up by the gun thing in America. It's just ridiculous. 24, you reckon Netflix is shit? I watched a fair bit of Netflix. Like, I just got it last year specifically to watch the new Star Trek Discovery. But what else have I watched? I watched all the animated stuff like BoJack Horseman, which I'd never seen. Rick and Morty's, and there's a really good one that there's only been one season of called Big Mouth, and it's fucking brilliant. There's one called F is for Family, which is okay. I watch a lot of the comedy specials that are on there. I watched, of course, Stranger Things, Black Mirror, Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, The Good Place, and I've started a whole bunch of series, mainly comedy series, and I haven't watched that now. I watched a couple episodes of Riverdale. Everyone told me to watch Narcos. I might watch Narcos soon, the drug drama. Yes. Empress, GTA has made me want to kill people. Oh, Tendai. Okay, I'm not really into anime, but young Mr. Angry, who was in here a bit earlier with his cake, he's been watching Voltron. So I've kind of seen Voltron in the background. I've been working on my computer while he's been watching Voltron. So it seems okay. Yeah, but I'm not really into it. So I'm trying to think, what else did I watch on Netflix? Well, like I said, I watched a lot of the comedy specials. And I have Foxtel cable here because it has stuff that Netflix doesn't, much like The Daily Show and Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, and what else? There's a few things coming up now. New series of Westworld. Westworld was good. But yeah, there's a few things. Watching. Has anyone seen this new-ish show called Britannia? It's obvious, to my mind, it's obviously trying to cash in on the popularity of Vikings. It's a drama set when Rome's 9th Legion landed in England, or Britannia, with the intent of turning it into part of the Roman Empire. It's very entertaining. I've watched about 7 episodes of it so far. I'm quite the fan of that one. Pat talks, I'm with you that mental health and bullying are way bigger issues than video games, but video games just a scapegoat. Like, and I said, I'm absolutely disgusted by people who refuse to take even basic common sense steps about gun control, but want to have a scapegoat like video games or movies or whatever. And I fucking hate those. I hate hypocrites. I mean, I really hate bigots and whatnot, but bigots who own what they are, it's like, well, at least they're owning what they are. But the hypocrites who pretend they're not talking shit when they most certainly are, I really can't stand hypocritical cowards who won't even own what they're doing. Doesn't mean I like Nazis who walk around waving their arm in the air and have swastika tattoos, but at least they're owning it. It's the hypocrites who won't even own what they're doing that really shit me. Tara, kids getting their parents' firearms and shooting each other. This is the thing that sounds like a bad joke, but is factually true. You've got all these people paranoid about, I'm worried about the terrorists. The Muslim extremists are going to get us all. Statistically, you are more likely to be shot by a toddler with a gun than you are by a terrorist with a gun. And it's terrifying that that's true. You are actually more likely to be shot and killed by a toddler with a gun than by a terrorist with a gun. It's ridiculous. Stella, you've heard shit about Britannia and the train spotting imitation poster. Oh, well, I never saw a poster for it. I don't know. It was just advertised as being on. And so I thought it might be interesting. So I set it to record. At the same time, the new series of X-Files started. And I recorded that as well and watched the first episode of both. And Britannia was intriguing and I'm still enjoying it. X-Files was shit. It's like X-Files was just melodramatic with this stupid, overbearing voiceover. And it's just like, no, I am not interested in this at all. I'm just not interested in it. So I stopped watching that. Celtic King, you should create an AngryAussie themed metal band. Well, I have AngryAussie themed metal on my channel. There's a couple things I've had that have been like AngryAussie metal on my channel. So you know, there's a starting point for you. There's a mate of mine, an Aussie YouTuber who does animation and sort of screamo music. His channel's called Blordo, and he did some music for me that I use in some of my videos. It's just fucking great. Dude's so talented. And a few different musicians have done music either for me or with me. And it's just awesome. This has always been my favorite thing about YouTube is the people I interact with and the people I meet. Like, sure, it would be great if I was a super famous, successful YouTuber and made lots of money and made a full-time living off YouTube. But even without that, I have a really good time. And it's all about the people and the interactions. Celtic King, no, I never put the VD letter on my WordPress account. I probably should do that one day. I keep saying I will, but I tried to start some other stuff on my WordPress account and I got bored and stopped doing it. I should go back to doing it, writing and putting it on. I'll try. I'll try. You know. Ooh, Empress, that's an interesting idea. Grunge would be more suited because it's anger and sadness. Yeah, well, that was certainly sort of my peak music time, late 80s, early 90s. That's when I seriously got into indie music. Oh my gosh, Viore, you underestimated how long it would take you to draw an entire city. Yeah, your respect for professional artists goes by. That's the interesting thing, because I have friends who are artists and I know how long that shit takes. But even just my experience with making videos, when I see someone make a really complicated video, I'm like, oh, dude, I know how many hours you put into that. I know how long that shit takes. I'm so in awe of you having the stamina to do that. Celtic King, you masturbate a lot. Nothing wrong with that. We've had the masturbation talk before. I think masturbation is underrated. I think more people would be happier if they masturbated more often. Yeah, definitely. I think it's therapeutic and underrated. So, what's the thing? It was remember Angry Anderson saying in an interview on some show, and they were talking about uh, uh, sex and masturbation, and he was just being super open. And he said, I'm pretty sure I've masturbated every day of my life since the first time. Since I first discovered it, it was so awesome. I've masturbated at least once every day my whole life, including when I'm having sex. And, you know, my wife doesn't understand sometimes. She thinks she should be enough. I go, no, this is different. And they did that. And then the whole crew cracked up. And you saw like an outtake where the producer who was there on set is just pissing himself laughing. And he's going, are you for real? Are you just saying that to sort of be funny and have something? Or is that for real? And Angry Anderson's just going, no, not even messing with you, man. It's just the truth. And the whole crew is just pissing themselves laughing. Yes, Tara, Angry Anderson is actually an awful person. Okay, I should do that. Awful people can say funny things or can create art, can do great things. Angry Anderson is an awful person. Pat, are you asking me, did I get bullied when I was younger? A bit. Not badly. I mean, you know, I was bullied in the sense that I was a social outcast, definitely. Definitely a social outcast. And but I wasn't physically bullied much. There were incidents. I mean, I think everyone has incidents of it. And honestly, I was a shit to other people. There were a couple of people. If I ever saw them again, I owe them an apology because I was fucking awful to them. It's really funny. Like, okay, because I've always been like a nerd outcast my whole life. And particularly, you see it on the internet, people saying like, oh, nerds, we're the good guys. We're the outcasts. The jocks and the popular people are awful. No fucking way. Nerds are at least as bad as the jocks and the popular kids. And nerds just never got to act on their negative personality traits before the internet because they couldn't get in physical trouble. But we see on the internet that nerds are as horrible as anyone. And I did. It's an interesting thing you find. So like I said, I was a bit of a social outcast. You're on the second bottom rung of the social ladder. You will shit on the person who's on the bottom rung. And I was definitely guilty of that. Like there were people at school that I was fucking awful to, and that included physical conflict. So yeah, I'm not all. You going bye-byes, Kelsey? Well, yeah, I am too, actually. It's that time. Time to go. I gotta take my meds because I'm an old man in my shop. Oh, Mimsy's stretching. Yes. Yes, you stayed here the whole time. You're gonna be the star of the show now. You're gonna be the star of the show. Everyone's gonna like you more. But yes, yes, she likes to be scratched. All right. As soon as I leave here, because I go to bed, she'll just come and sit next to me and say, now pay more attention to me, and purr really loudly in my ear, making it hard to sleep. But yeah. And you're right, Tendo, there's a long list that corroborates that nerds are awful. They really are. They really, really are. I have to admit, it's also why I try not to be too harsh on school kids. Like you'll see stories occasionally. People say, "Look at what these awful school kids did. They said this, or they did that, or they did the other," and it's like, they're school kids. Everyone does horrible shit when they're at school. And look, maybe they are thoroughly awful people and they will always be awful, but for fuck's sake, they're kids. Cut them a little bit of slack. Now, because there are enough adults doing fucking horrible shit. Why waste time picking on kids who are doing horrible shit? Because that's just something kids do. Kids are awful. Kids are fucking vicious. Yeah. Oh no, Tendai, you are really trying to start a fight. Cats or dogs better. That will start a bigger fight than anything I've ever said about race or gender or sexuality. You'll start a blood feud over cats and dogs. Yes. Ugh. Yes, we're blood in the gutters over that. Anyway, yeah, look, I am going to wrap things up, get myself ready to end. Frank, Frank messaged me earlier saying he might catch the last 5 minutes on his lunch break. You just barely got here, buddy. Just barely got here. Yes, I'm just in the process of saying goodbye. Oh, Mimsy's gone. Mimsy says it's over. So if Mimsy says it's over, I guess it is. I even left the sliding door open a little bit for her so she could get out. And she seems really stressed she can't open it. I better look after her. Thank you all for dropping by. As usual, I've had a very good time with you all. I'll be back tomorrow trying. I'm not sure if I'll get a video done tomorrow. I've actually got a busy day tomorrow with job interviews and catching up with some friends. I'll still try and do a video tomorrow night. We'll see. It might go tomorrow night or on Saturday or something. So look after yourselves. And I will see you all another time. Take care. Look after yourselves. I'll see you all. And bye now.